Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And right back at you. I'd rather be dressed in a t-shirt and jeans and a jacket and tie. It's nice to actually be out in the sun and be warm for a change, isn't it? Yeah, we're always sick of the sun already. My name is Adam Dock. It's my great pleasure today to welcome you here to Unit 6 of 104 Terrara Road in beautiful Vermont South. I'd also like to introduce you to the team behind the name. You've got Michael over here in the background, and that was the old saying, a face rings a bell, Jackie, who's been ably managing the property during the course of this campaign. We are here today to make it as easy and enjoyable as possible to secure such a fine property in such a great location with lovely neighbours. Indeed. What I'm going to do is run through the contracts with you and then we'll get stuck into the bidding. Now, you have noticed that we are live streaming this auction, so to everybody that's watching this online, welcome. Obviously, it's a beautiful day. We'd rather you be outside here, but if you're sitting on the couch enjoying yourself, then welcome to the auction. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are offering is Unit 6, 104 to 106 Terrara Road in Vermont South, being lot number 10. Certificate of Title, volume number 11195, folio 351, better known as Unit 6, 104 to 106 Terrara Road, Vermont South. What we're offering is all fixed floor coverings, electric light fittings, window furnishings, fixtures and fittings as inspected. The owners are not minimalist. The property is vacant, so what you are seeing here today is what's going to be waiting for you here at settlement. We are calling for a settlement of 30 to 60 days. However, we will be honouring any terms you've negotiated prior to the start of today's auction. So if you have negotiated different terms, you can bid on those comfortably. The usual substitution and guarantee clause are in the contract. The substitution clause, if your spouse or partner is not here, you may bid away. We'll use the words and or nominee on the contract. You just need to nominate that person at a later stage. And the guarantee clause, if you are a very astute, savvy purchaser and wish to invest this property, you can do so. We'll sign the contract as the director of the company, guaranteeing the performance of the contract. The City of Whitehorse planning scheme, it comes under that. Responsible authorities of Whitehorse Council and is zoned neighbourhood residential zone Schedule 5. Outgoings, the City of Whitehorse rates are $1,683.90. Yarra Valley water rates are $726.56 and the owners corporation is $1,750. Total outgoings are $4,160.46 per annum. All services are available. Electricity, gas, water and sewerage. Obviously now with the NBN, telephone is not connected to the property, but the NBN is, as you probably saw sitting on the floor in the lounge room. Like all parts of City of Whitehorse, this does have the significant landscape overlay. It is significant landscape overlay 9. Simply put, don't break a toothpick without getting council approval. Now, for those people also, I just want to pick up a couple of things. There is some marking on the ceiling upstairs. The roof has been fixed and the vendor is going to be repainting the ceiling before settlement. So that is all been taken care of and is up to ship shape. You'll also notice that we are in a double-storey house, but this is absolutely perfect property because you've got all the split systems upstairs as well. So on those warm days that we are going to be getting, you have all the luxury of air conditioning upstairs, and you probably notice downstairs as well. That's the contract, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, it's very, very quick. We've mailed it out to a number of you, so it is a very large document. So if there's any questions during the auction, yell out. We'll answer all the questions that you may have regarding the property as it stands. But I wouldn't be doing this property any service if I didn't just spend a few moments discussing the merits of it. It is a beautiful, beautiful development. Our company was involved with it when it was originally developed, some 2010, I think, from memory, so about 12 years ago. For those people that have been in the district as long as I have, you probably remember that this was the old farmlet. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the guy's name, but I can't remember it. Flower farmer, florist. I can't remember his name though. Tom. That's it. It was Tom. I think he moved out of state or something from memory. Yeah, so this is what his legacy is. It's a beautiful development across the two frontages being Terrara Road and Hawthorne Road. That sun is beautiful and I forgot to put sun cream on today. But you also have everything that Vermont South has to offer. You're so close to everything, being Bellbird Dell just straight across the road, Terrara Park down the road, shopping centres above the road. You've got schools, public transport, shops, parkland, everything and sporting facilities and everything that you could possibly want in an area like this. But also just have a look around. It is so well maintained and well looked after that I'm sure a property like this you'd want to be a part of. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are operating under auction conditions. And I must read out that the auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that were made available for inspection before the start of today's auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price. As the auctioneer, I'll indicate bidders upon request. The law prohibits false bids and prohibits major disruptions by bidders and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding and provides fines for this conduct. The rules permit vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, may make a vendor bid. Very straightforward, ladies and gentlemen. This is a beautiful property, double story, immaculate throughout, modern facilities. It looks charming and in a great spot, and nice and quiet, pushed back at the end of the driveway. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity. Unit 6, 104 to 106 Terrara Road in beautiful Vermont South. Can I see an opening bid? Even the cars stop driving past. It's always the way. Happy to take your bid. I don't mind where we start, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, I do have the iPad, so if we get an online bid, I will be bidding it on the iPad and calling out that bid also.
818.
818. Right. 818. Okay, that's an interesting start, but I'll take that. $818,000. At $818,000, fair and reasonable bid, and we're away, ladies and gentlemen. I'll explain what happens if we pass a property and the highest bidder and only the highest bidder will have first right of refusal at the reserve price. At $818,000, it is below our reserve, so we won't be selling at that price, but I will take a $20,000 rise from here. At $818,000, a $20,000 rise gets the keys just that bit closer to your key ring. So the only way you're going to be able to buy this property now, ladies and gentlemen, is to bid to buy. Your opportunity. 2 bedrooms upstairs. Don't forget the bedroom downstairs. Also the toilet downstairs. Big double garage. And beautiful from the front door to the back door. At $818,000 I have, ladies and gentlemen, fair and reasonable start. Looking for a $20,000 rise from here. At $818,000, it's maybe the first auction we've had in a long time that everybody pushes out to get into the shade. At $818,000, ladies and gentlemen, I said you have to bid to win. Your call. I don't mind passing the property because I know there's value here and I know what the market's doing. 838, thank you. At $838,000 now. At $838,000, you can come back now, sir, another 20 if you wish. At $838,000, interesting numbers, double eights, very, very lucky indeed. At $838,000, there's 2 in it. 842. 842. I'll take your bid at $842,000, another $4,000 on top of that one. At $842,000, back with you, Jackie, and anybody else. I'm keeping an eye over here, so if my back is to you when you want to bid away. Yell it out, or have Jackie bid for you. At $842,000, it's against you, bidding is here. And anybody else, and online I haven't forgotten about, also keeping an eye on the iPad to see if any bids come through. At $842,000, your call if you wish. Doesn't everything look better when the sun's out? It's beautiful. 858. I beg your pardon, sorry?
51.
851. I'll put the 850 in first, then I'll add 1 to that, and $851,000. At $851,000, back with you. Knock me down to very, very low figures now. At $851,000, yours if you like. Highest bidder and only the highest bidder will have first right of refusal at the reserve price. At $851,000, taking all different bids at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, but I want you all to have an opportunity. Because opportunities like this don't come around very often to a quality double-storey townhouse in such a beautiful development as this. At $851,000, need your answer for what you're going to be doing. At $851,000, I'll have any further bids. Now is the time. 860. 860. 861. Okay. 861. Got you by 1,000. At $861,000. Quick bidding, good bidding. At 861. 861 I have. Yours again, Jackie. I'm getting echo from that. That's fantastic. I'm going to open every garage. You should always open a garage at an auction, shouldn't you, mate? I got in trouble before for saying that. At 861,000, yours again if you wish, and anybody else now. At 861, fine quality build. Great spot here, ladies and gentlemen, just straight across the road from Bellbird Dell. You got Terrara Park for your weekend sporting fixtures. Buses are close by, right out the front. Everything is here. 880. At $880,000, I should think so. 88. Yours again if you wish, but $880,000. Not yet, sir, but if you bid, you'll be the first one that we tell as soon as we get there. At $880,000 I've got. Yours if you wish. If I pass a property and I pass it into the highest bidder and only the highest bidder has first right of refusal at reserve price at the moment, it's not you, sir, but you can bid away at $880,000. Your call if you wish. I'll call it 3 times. Don't miss out. You'll wait. The only way we're going to get there is by bidding, sir, at $880,000. First call. 881. 881. Thank you. At 881 now. Yours again. Happy to take a bid from this side if you like. At $881,000. Your call. Having a think about it. 888. Love it. So lucky. 888,000. 888. We're racing to get there at 8. Not yet, sir. Trust me, I'll tell you as soon as it does. 889. At 889,000. At 889. We're crawling to get there, but we're getting there. At $889,000. Back with you. They got you by 1. At 889,000. I said 888 is very, very lucky, but 890 is even luckier. At 889,000. 889 I have. Other crowd if you like. At $889,000, I will call it again if it helps you to make your decision. As I said, it's a 15-minute auction, but it's a lifetime of memories. And have a look at what the prize is. Beautifully built, quality from front door to back door. 9 was that? 900,000. At $900,000 now, we've breached the lucky 9s. 2 in it. But it's amazing how many times we go all the way through and just at the last moment someone else puts their hand up. $900,000 I have. Bidding is over here. It is against you, sir. 901. He loves his ones. Yeah. Yep, they're working for you too. At $901,000. I don't have to even bid. You're bidding for me. Back with you, Jackie, and anybody else now. I know you're all just waiting to see what your tactics are, but the tactics are to make sure that you're holding the highest bid. At 901. Do you want to try 910? At $901,000. Your call in deep conversation. At 901,000. First call at 901. Second call, 901. Don't miss out, ladies and gentlemen. Third and final call at 901,000. 920. At $920,000. At $920,000, ladies and gentlemen, I have. And you know, ladies, what I will do is I'm just going to pause one moment and seek my instructions. At 920, we'll just pause one moment. Come inside. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. We do have an absentee vendor, so we just had to go in there and get our instructions. At $920,000, can I confirm your bid? 920, just need to confirm your bid. 920, confirm. Thank you. 920, sir, we are on the market and we're selling. 921. $921,000, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, I'll be very, very clear. We are on the market and we are selling today. A sold sticker will be on the property. So if you wish to bid, the only way you're going to be securing this property now is by putting your hand up or yelling out if I've got my back to you at the time. At $921,000, bid is here. It is against you and anybody else. If you've been waiting to the last moment, so I said at the start, by law, I cannot take any further rises after I've announced the property is sold. At $921,000, fair and reasonable bid, and we are selling if I have no further rise. You've been with me from the start, but I'll give you a moment to discuss. And if anybody else is looking to bid now, and your tactic is to wait to the last moment, make sure it's not too late. At $921,000, we are on the market. And we are selling if I have no further rise. 925. 925. And was that 926, sir? Thank you. At $926,000. He wants it, but you can have it just as bad. At $926,000. When you're bidding at an auction and you're competing for a property, you want to have to compete for the property because you want everybody to like it as much as you do. You want everybody to see the value in it that you do. And to tell you that there is value in this property. 926 against you now, Jackie. It's with Michael. Your call. Give you a moment to think about it. I will pause. As I said, it's a quick decision, but it's a lifetime of memories. I don't want you driving up and down Terrara Road every day of the week thinking I almost lived here. At $926,000, your call or anybody else. I'll call it 3 times and then we will sell. At $926,000, first call. Need an answer. Yours if you wish. 928. 928. And right back at 929. Not working for you now. Back bit. Sorry, say that one again. 935. 935,000. Yours if you wish. And anybody else, as I said, if I've got my back to you when you're bidding, yell it out. I don't want you to miss out. Because I said we are on the market and we're selling at 935,000. A sold sticker will be on this property today. At 935, it's with Jackie's bidder. And anybody else now. If you're waiting to the last moment, don't wait that little bit too late because you will miss out. At $935,000, first call. You've been quick all the time, contemplative. You can even try a half if you like, I don't mind. You knock me down very quickly to the ones, but I don't mind what I take. At $935,000, second call. You sure, sir? You want to try one more? You want to try a half? You sure? Thank you for your bidding. For the third and final call, are you all done? Are you all silent? At $935,000. Ladies and gentlemen, at $935,000, we're selling. We're selling. We're selling. We've sold at $935,000. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention and your attendance. Have a lovely, lovely afternoon. Have a great weekend and absolutely enjoy the sunshine and the heat. Thank you very much from everybody at Docking Real Estate.